Hey, what is up, everybody? This is your boy AJTRIP, and welcome to Dash to Shoot. Weekday was our show. We'll talk about what's going on in the world of professional wrestling. This is the first Dash to Shoot of 2001, or is it? Did I do one? I can't remember. I can't remember if I did one on Friday or if I did one on Saturday when it came to WWE Day One. The Saturday shows are like freaking out my schedule, and I don't know. I gotta do one, next week, and I don't. Again, I figure I'm gonna go back and look to see when I did the that shoot for day one. And if I did it on Saturday, that's when I'll do it. I'll do from now on. There's gonna be two, I think two other Saturday shows coming this year. There's gonna be Wrestlemania Night One. That's and I think later on in the year, I think it might be SummerSlam. Might be on a Saturday. I think every other show is going to be on Sunday this year. So every other premium live event. That's what we are now calling it. So we've got a couple of topics to cover. We got a massive main topic, and so go ahead and start the show. Okay, so the other day, Sean Ross Sapp reported that Sami Zayn has been signed with WWE. It seems like no surprise here after Kevin Owens, who signed a couple weeks ago himself. Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens are best friends, life partners, yada yada, all those things. And so I think it makes the thing, of course, Sami Zayn was going to resign. There was no way that he was going to not be in the same place as his best friend, because they are destined to fight forever. So this just makes sense. Kevin Owens being a heel, at some point Kevin and Sami may team back up together. I think they would be great tag team champions. So I would love to see Sami Zayn move to Raw at some point, or even before the draft. Make a trade for Sami Zayn on Raw, give the title to Kevin Owens and them, and then let them have a massive run at the tag team championship until you can have somebody else, come in or you build them up to beat them. So I love it. So Sami Zayn resigning, it's good enough. Good to see people staying where they be like they should be. Someone who probably doesn't want to resign is Mustafa Ali. I almost call him Mustafa. I think it's Mustafa. That's what it's been called now. That change has been a while now. So this past Sunday, put on his Twitter that he was asking for his release from WWE. He said that he had more to speak on, more to say, and he wasn't going to do it there. So, and then WWE has been leaked out that they're not going to grant his release. So, yeah, I think this is okay. Listen, do what FTR did. If they're not going to release you, fine. Do your rest of your contract and they don't resign. And that's it. That's what Mustafa just has to do. Mustafa. He just has to. I should call him Ali, so I don't get the thing. Because you've been saying Mustafa Ali for so long, and all of a sudden it's Mustafa, but never mind. That's what needs to happen. I mean, he wants out. They're not going to release him. That's totally their right not to do so. So you be a good hand and come to every show. And if you don't get on the show, if you don't do anything, you're doing jobs, whatever, you just do it. And take it. Like Vince McMahon told Triple H one time, you have to eat. After the curtain call, you have to eat shit for a while, but you'll get over it. And I think that's what Mustafa Ali is doing. He may have to eat shit for a little while, but he'll get over it. It's just, I'm sure he's very friendly with a lot of people backstage. Just go ahead and just, do the rest of your contract out, and then once your contract's up, leave. Don't do anything that you don't want to do. That's probably fine, because there are rumors that there was a heated argument between Ali and Vince after Vince asked him to do something that he was necessarily not going to do, that he wouldn't want to do, and there was a heated argument because of that. It's I think most of us think that it's something stereotypical with being a stereotypical Muslim or something like that. That's something that he didn't want to do. He didn't want to do like the terrorist gimmick or the terror or anything like that because he was Muslim. He didn't want that to happen. Which I can understand that. You wouldn't want somebody black doesn't want to be, even though Prime Time did it, and that's just a totally different thing. I don't think they never had any, qualms with it. That being said, though, but Ali has, you know, qualms over what could be this, and then there's Sandra Sapp, who looked into this, said that there was nothing. There was nothing like that as well. They don't know what it was. He couldn't find out what it was, but it was just something that Ali was never going to do. So it's unfortunate that he feels like he can't do what he needs to do in WWE, but he signed a contract and he's got to, as long as WWE is going to honor that contract, he needs to honor it as well. Another contract situation. Another report from Sandra Sapp. He is doing great work over at Fight for Select, breaking stories. He's always the one that is seemingly breaking the stories on the WWE releases and a whole bunch of other WWE stories as well. So good for him over at Fightful and FightfulSelect.com. He put out this week that Cody is actually a free agent. He's been working AEW without a contract. Right now, Cody is the current TNT champion. Sammy Guevara is the interim TNT champion because of, Cody could not have made Battle of the Belts the other week. So, Cody's been working without a contract. I don't see nothing wrong with this. I think that's, didn't we just see this with, twice in NXT? Adam Cole's contract rolled up. He signed a little small extension. Then again, Reynolds' contract was up before War Games. He signed a small extension. Now I don't know if Cody is signing small extensions, but he was doing a contract, and I think that's what it is. I think this is a bunch of hooey. Not hooey. It's real. The stuff is real. But I'm talking about the stuff that's coming around it. People making more of it than it seems. I think Cody will be in that company for a long time, and if Cody is somehow not in that company, I would be I wouldn't be shocked. I guess I would be surprised, maybe, because there was a thing about a year ago. There was rumors that the EVPs wasn't getting along. Omega and the Hardy and the I'm about to go June Cornette. And the Young Bucks, Kenny and the Young Bucks, they weren't speaking to Cody and vice versa. And, then, in Cody's reality show, you never saw Omega or the Young Bucks. And even apparently on the last episode of the season finale of the show, one of the Young Bucks was there, but his face was blurred out. So, it's, you never know, right? So this is what it's come down to. Excuse me. This is what it's come down to. So I think, again, this is a bunch of do to nothing, right? I think Sean Rossap will report within the next couple of weeks that Cody has signed a deal with AEW to stay there, and I don't think Cody's not the kind of guy that I think would, I think he would go to, he would turn on them or anything like that. Even if they decided, well, we're not going to sign you, Cody, he would go and he would do his job to Sammy Guevara, drop the title, then he would go and leave the company. If that was, but I don't expect him to leave the company at all. He is going to be there for a good while. So that's where he wants to be. This year he got other places he can go. WNWA, Impact. I don't think WWE. A lot of people are thinking that because he is a free agent, he'll be, and there's been reports of the WWE having a Forbidden Door entered in the Men's Royal Rumble. That Uh, it might be him, but it's not gonna be him. Not gonna be anybody from AEW if it happens. So um, yeah. So I think this is a lot about nothing. And Cody will be in AEW probably for the rest of his career. And speaking of Rumble rumors, with Cody Rhodes being one of them that he would be in the Royal Rumble, there are many Royal Rumble rumors that are going down and are going to be happening. Not that are going to be happening, but what I mean by that is that have come out, and some that I have just been like I've been flawed by. You know, there was, you know, it was talks that the original plan was for Seth Rollins to win the WWE title. And it was a fatal 4-way match, right? And I think they said that Brock Lesnar was going to win the Universal title at day one. And so that was going to lead to Roman Reigns winning the Royal Rumble and going on to beat Brock Lesnar at Wrestlemania. But and now there's rumors that because that didn't happen, Roman, Kobe planning to switch. And now they're going to do the thing where Seth Rollins wins the WWE title and the Universal title, bring that to Raw, and then we're going to have Brock and Roman at WrestleMania for the WWE title, where Roman will win and be the WWE champion. Like this doesn't make any more sense to me. You've done all of this with Roman Reigns. You've done all of this. You've made him the longest reigning Universal champion. So was that just the goal, just to make him the longest reigning Universal champion? It wasn't just to make him, because there were reports last month, a month and a half ago, that said that they were trying to make Roman Reigns the greatest of all time. But even I said, no, that wasn't going to happen. But you can make him have one of the greatest reigns of all time by having him have the Universal Champion go until like WrestleMania 40 or something like that, which to me makes the most sense, right? Especially when you have two championships, it would be better to have him, have one beat that is extremely tolerant. Other one can be. I don't want to be like I don't want to use the term hot shot it, but it can be more of a thing where okay, they hold it for 3-4 months, then it changed, and then that one holds for 3-4 months, and it's changed, and then that could be more of a changeable outcome. And yes, maybe you like for it to be, the WWE Championship like that, and then the Universal Championship, right? Because the WWE Championship should be the best. That's something that the WWE has just been crazy ever since they started in 2001 with this two championship stuff and everything like that. Especially with the turning the WCW Championship to the World Championship and everything like that, right? And then unifying that, and then bringing back the World Championship for Triple H. It's always been like the main one, like it's the more important one, and that's just not the case. It should not be. You're WWE. You're not World WWE or whatever. It's the WWE Championship is the most important championship. But then they did it with the Universal Championship, made that the most important one. So I don't get it, and this kind of ruins up all of my this kind of ruins all of my things with WWE. All of my predictions that I'm gonna make next week, because and not just with Roman Reigns, but also there are rumors that the women's matches at WrestleMania would be Bianca Belair versus Becky Lynch and Sasha Banks versus Charlotte Flair. Which okay, I have no problem with those matches, but I would have thought they were going in a different way. I would have thought you've seen Liv Morgan, what they were trying to do with Liv Morgan. Yeah, so, and yes, you can definitely build somebody and make them a star and still have them lose. Right, and still have them lose. But it just seems like to me that the story was that Liv Morgan was finally going to, you know, was finally going to go over that hump and beat Becky Lynch on and get her shot at the biggest stage in all WrestleMania. But looks like they're gonna go again with Bianca Belair, and that is totally a way to go. Um, Sasha Banks is out with an injury, so she won't win the Royal Rumble. So that's why I think that's why they put Charlotte Flair in. I think they could have Charlotte Flair win the Royal Rumble, and then she could go hang back and say that she wants Sasha Banks to be her opponent. Something like that. Because sure, they could give it to Bianca Belair and have Bianca Belair win the Royal Rumble for a second year in a row, right? But I also, well, see, I just don't know. And really, I really thought I had easy selections for my predictions, right? I thought I had Roman Reigns would win, Brock Lesnar would win, their matches. Royal Rumble would be Big E. I think he's still probably going to be Big E. And then for women, I thought I had Liv Morgan. I thought there were going to be some outside shots, maybe, because we're going to have a lot of people coming back. Yeah, we do. We're going to have a lot of women coming back, I believe. I believe that Lacey Evans, she's been training and working out. I believe she's going to make a return. Bailey has said that she is ready, and I think she may come back and she might be returning. I even thought that there's even a possibility of Ronda Rousey coming back, and her coming back and she would make a splash, because they don't have a lot. They don't have a lot of women between the main roster and NXT, and apparently they don't want to use a lot of NXT women in the Royal Rumble. In years past, they've used maybe 3 to 4 women from NXT. Of course, they sprinkle in the women of the past, and as they're going to do this year, the Bella Twins are coming back. They're announced Bella Twins coming back. Summer Rae, Impact Knockouts champion Mickie James, who had her stuff with the company when she was released, back in the spring of 2021. And she had the whole stuff was in a garbage bag. Summer Rae is going to come back, and she's already starting stuff with Natalya. I'm guessing it's a work. Nia Jax said a couple weeks ago on her Instagram that 98% of the stuff you saw on Total Divas was scripted. So, and that shouldn't surprise anybody. It's WWE. WWE and it's E. I don't think. I think very little do the reality shows on E do a lot of quote unquote reality. I think all of it is scripted, or if it's not scripted out to what they say and what the story is or something like that. They will force. Because I don't believe the Kardashians are that good of actors to to do that for however long they did that show. They did a show for like 14, 15 seasons and so many odd years, maybe just not as many years as well. But I don't think any one of them are that good of an actor to do the stuff they did. But I think the producers did lean stuff in one way. Because I remember one season, they had Kylie on taking birth control pills, and they were told, and they didn't want to tell Caitlyn, who was Bruce at the time. They didn't want to tell Bruce at the time that she was on him, but they had him go pick up the medication, which involved Kylie's birth control pills. So whatever. Anyway, so I don't know who. I would not be surprised if Nia Jax returned. I say for there's 3 reasons. I said there's 3 reasons why we could see a Nia Jax return. One, she's She is someone who's a WWE lifer. I don't think she is someone that we know what it is. She was a plus size model, um, turned freshman wrestler. She's a cousin of The Rock's, and so there's that family, there. So that's what she probably did. She probably went there and worked out, started working out with The Rock, right? Two, I think the people in WWE would really work with her, because I think she has the unsafe tag on her for her many things that have happened in her, from injuring Bailey and doing things with Charlotte Flair not once but twice. You know, I think she has some things with Sasha as well, and she threw Kyrie Sane into a step and opened her up, busted her open. So it's although many people said that was more probably on Kylie, than Nia, but then she still blames it because it comes from Nia, and she's got that unsafe tag on her. But I would not be surprised if Nia Jackson Roman. I really wouldn't. And there's no rumors about it, but I wouldn't be surprised if that happened. And yeah, and there should be many others as well. I'm expecting to see Stephanie McMahon. Because again, there's not enough women, and I think it'd be cool to see Stephanie in the Royal Rumble. So I think she could be in there. So I was expecting her to be in the first one, but she decided to sit out at ringside to do commentary with the guys. So that's it. Yes. As for the Forbidden Door, listen, I don't know. There isn't anybody out there, I think, who would come into WWE using the Forbidden Door that would get a great reaction. Because I don't think a lot of WWE fans know a lot of these people, right? I don't even think so. I don't even think. I think maybe there might be some people who know it and some people else that mark out. If anything, the biggest one I would like to see, and I don't know if he's healthy enough to do it, I would like to see Will Ospreay. Will Ospreay get in the ring with Ricochet. Have Ricochet come out the number one entrant, number two entrant is Will Ospreay. And have them do their little things. They can do their gymnastics and stuff like that. And then number three, Big Omos. And Omos throws both of them all over the top rope. That's what I think that would be pretty cool. But so I don't know who the Forbidden Door Rumble entrant is. I'm starting to think that it probably won't be. If it is anybody, it won't be anybody that we would really be okay with. Somebody may come out. Oh, okay, that's cool. Yeah, that's cool. But we won't be shocking like AJ Styles in 2016 when he came out at number 3. So everybody's like, the phenomenal AJ Styles. So we'll have to wait and see. Alright, so our main topic this week involves something that I don't do very often. I've done it maybe once or twice on this channel, on this episode called That to Shoot. I'm doing fantasy booking. Now, fantasy booking The Rock versus Roman Reigns. There are many people, including myself, who believe that this head of the table storyline leads to, and maybe even leads past, the match of The Rock versus Roman Reigns, right? Because The Rock, part of the Samoan dynasty, right? Grandfather, High Chief Peter Maivia, one of the Samoans, and then goes down to The Rock. His daughter marries Rocky Johnson, and they create The Rock. Rock half black, half Samoan, part of the Samoan dynasty. Obviously the biggest superstar WWE, and I would say wrestling, has ever seen. Right? He's gone from wrestling into movies. He's the biggest star. He's the highest paid actor. He's his movies are watched over and over and over again. And yet, while he's had some clunkers, he's really made some good ones. Some great ones. So I think that The Rock, the biggest star that wrestling has ever seen, is what you ask. Your question, you can say, He's the #1 guy in the Samoan dynasty. He would be the head of the table in the Samoan dynasty. But now here comes Roman Reigns, right? Roman Reigns. And he's been the guy for a long time. He's been the guy since WrestleMania 32. He's been the guy probably before then. He's been the man. He's been the person that WWE was going to build the back of WWE on for the next decade. And they have. 4 straight WrestleMania, 32, 33, 30, no, 31. Excuse me, this goes back to 31. I'm saying 32. This goes back to 31 even. 31. So, and where we at now? We're going to have WrestleMania 38. That is 7 years of Roman Reigns being the guy. A break, here for the COVID outbreak in 2020. Yeah, in 2020. But otherwise, he's been the guy. And I mentioned earlier, this is why it makes no sense that you're going to have Seth Rollins beat Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship, so that he can win the WWE Championship from Brock Lesnar. I don't find that. I find that to be ridiculous. I find that to be short-sighted. Because to me what that says was that this, he won Universal Champion. The only reason why he was Universal Champion was to break Brock Lesnar's record. So now what are you gonna do? You're gonna put the Universal, you're gonna put the WWE Champion on, and he's gonna beat Punk's record, so that he'll have the 2 longest modern day championship reigns of the main roster championships, the Universal and the WWE Championship. Walter, or now Gunther, that's something that we didn't even talk about. Walter's name was now been changed to Gunther. Has the longest women's UK championship reign. So she would be the longest women's reign champion. I don't know. I don't know what they're thinking. Right? But back to the story. Right? Instead of the tape stuff, it's gotta lead to WrestleMania. Some people wanted it this year, WrestleMania 38, but it makes more sense to do WrestleMania 39. Because I think they can do the Ric Flair thing. I think they can do, they can put The Rock into the Hall of Fame the 2 nights before, or the day before, or a couple of weeks before, whenever. If they're still doing 2 nights, whatever. And then have Roman Reigns retire The Rock, at that show. Now that match doesn't need the title. And originally, that would have been my thing. My thing would be that it would have been the fact that Roman lost the championship to be the reason why he decides to go after The Rock. Originally, maybe after, again, going through entirely this year, 2022, of being the champion, right? And then maybe at the end of the year, maybe someone cashes in the Money in the Bank. Something like that, or like he would beat, maybe what he would beat Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. Come out, would be there. Everybody would be there to acknowledge him. It's feeling from acknowledging him. Is he not to acknowledging it and everything, and they can do all of that, and then that can lead to maybe The Rock coming back at like a Survivor Series. It doesn't, do it. He says no. And he wants to. And Rock says, "You're pushing," and then his anger causes him to lose the championship. And then what he does, he goes Rock and he attacks the Rock for something. And then, after the Royal Rumble, he tries to go back into the Royal Rumble to be the champion, so whatever. And you can do all of that, and then that would lead to WrestleMania. And then The Rock would lose, right? That's the way to go. But now with these other things happening, who knows who knows how it's going to be, right? With these rumors, they were reported by Dave Meltzer, by the way. These rumors of like Seth Rollins beating Roman Reigns and it being Becky Lynch versus Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks versus Charlotte Flair, yada yada yada. So I don't know where to go. So when I did this, I had this planned a couple weeks ago. I was, that was before all of these rumors started to come out, because I thought this would be a good time to do it, because we're going to be sort of my switch is a good thing that started out. But now with all these rumors, I'm even questioning if this is even going to be the case, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and book it the way that I was going to book it to begin with, and try not to let any of the other rumors and outside noise influence my booking decision. Okay, so let's start at the Royal Rumble. For me, doesn't make any. It's a total thing. Roman Reigns beats Seth Rollins. Roman Reigns retains his Universal Championship. Brock Lesnar retains Bobby Lashley. He beats Bobby Lashley, retains the WWE Championship. So now we go to the Elimination Chamber in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. There would be a Elimination Chamber match for the WWE Championship. 6 people from Raw, and we're gonna go. I'm gonna say Big E wins the Royal Rumble, so we don't throw Big E not in this. So I'm gonna go Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens, Bobby Lashley, Brock Lesnar, Austin Theory, because he's been doing his thing, and let's say Finn Balor. Okay, let's put Finn Balor in there since he's done. There's been reports lately that this man has kind of done with Finn Balor as being the top guy, and right now he's just there to put over the younger guys, the younger talent that Vince sees future in. So whatever that is, and so and then that happens, and it comes down to Lesnar and Rollins, and we know what they've had. We know that this history of Lesnar and Rollins. And except now the roles reversal. Lesnar's baby face and Rollins is the heel. And Paul Heyman comes down to ringside and unlocks the chamber cage. The Usos and Roman Reigns comes in and they destroy Brock Lesnar. Hit him with chairs, hit him with super kicks, spears, chokes him out. Drag, after, and Brock Lesnar's F5 Seth Rollins into oblivion. 3, 4 F5s. Drags Rollins, puts him over, walks out the chamber. 1, 2, 3. New WWE champion Seth Rollins. And now, here we are. After all this, we come to it. Brock Lesnar has been screwed by Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman, and he's even more in a rage. If you think about the rage that Brock Lesnar was in after Crown Jewel, just think about the rage he is in now after being screwed out of his championship, right? Being screwed out of his championship. That's it now. Because Brock Lesnar wanted that. He wanted that champion versus champion title versus title match at WrestleMania. But as many people have stated, what happens right? I think that's what you do for both the women's and the men's. We may talk about that another day too. Is how fantasy booking, doing doing things back. I may do that. That's something to write down. But now he comes up and he's just out of it, and he's just incredible. And Brock Lesnar is just, oh my god, and he's just on a rampage. And Brock Lesnar, he grabs Paul Heyman, and he's getting ready to, something happens that forces Roman Reigns. Maybe it's just his cousins. He's getting ready to break that Kimura lock. He's got both Jimmy and Jay in the Kimura lock somehow. Because Brock Lesnar could do that, and he tells Roman, if you don't come out here, you don't accept my challenge for WrestleMania, I'm going to break your cousin's arms. And Roman Reigns has noticed that, okay, stop it. You got your match at WrestleMania. And he lets him go. And Brock Lesnar says, oh yeah, by the way, our match at WrestleMania is inside hell in a cell. And there you have the match set for WrestleMania 39. It's main event night 2. Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns, inside hell. And leading up to it, Brock Lesnar continues. He misses maybe one show. And each SmackDown he's on there, and he's just in there. And he's not touching. Or he's even better. The next week on Friday Night SmackDown, they do the contract signing. It states in the contract that Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar cannot touch each other. Brock Lesnar cannot touch Heyman, but Lesnar cannot touch the Usos until WrestleMania. They cannot have any contact with each other. And Roman Reigns also puts in the contract that if Brock Lesnar cannot beat Roman Reigns, then Brock Lesnar can no longer have a shot at the Universal Championship or any championship. Right? Because then that also would, that also would be on the point too. Because I do think at this point, even though you got to give it to Brock Lesnar, he has, ever since he's made to come back, he's made a lot of shows. He was on Raw one week and he was on SmackDown the next week. He was not on either Raw or SmackDown this past week. But he's been pretty good there. So and even though I am totally a proponent of not having your champion on every show, I don't think that needs to happen. I grew up watching Raw, where Bret Hart in '94, Bret Hart was the champion. Bret Hart was seen maybe once a month, maybe twice a month. Once in the ring, once in the, or something like that. But leading up to their match at the pay-per-view. But it was never, we rarely saw them. I think that you need to the champion. It's only good to see, right? So anyway, they do that. They sign the contract, and then you see coming up there and Roman, and they're doing like these other mini things, they're doing promos, you know, and they're doing other things, and you know, Brock Lesnar's always there. Can't touch it. None of you can touch it. They're jumping the New Day because of they're jumping the Viking Raiders. Since someone intended to do the Viking Raiders and Reigns is there. Lesnar comes out, stands in front of him. You can touch him. Get away. You know, and they're just doing everything until you get now to WrestleMania Night 2, the main event. Roman Reigns, which is Brock Lesnar, inside Hell in a Cell. And guess what? This is a fantastic match, as it should. It's brutal. It's violent. There won't be no self-mutilation in this match, but maybe it doesn't need to have self-mutilation because we know Brock Lesnar can open them up with elbows. And I don't see why Brock Lesnar can't teach Roman Reigns how to do that, to open him up with elbows as well. So yeah, we'll get some color, we'll get some blood, but it won't be from self-mutilation. It will be from actual fight, right? This is just Hell in a Cell. Even and although they've done it in the past, back-to-back years actually, calling it a no contest, we're not gonna stop this match. No, we're gonna fight to continue on to see who exactly wins. And by the way, I made comments about it. I'm okay with blading, but I think it has to be doing the right time, doing the right spot, doing the right time, you know, for the right thing. This feud inside Hell in a Cell would seem right for it. A street fight with Anna Jay and Ty Conti versus the Bunny and Penelope Ford doesn't seem like the right time for it. It really doesn't. Sure, if they want to do all of the other spots, let them do it. There was no reason for them to be bleeding. There was no reason for either one of them, none of them, to be bleeding. And I'll go back and say I don't think there was no reason for Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa to be bleeding in their match. So unless it happened by accident, there was no need for it. It's done for shock value, basically. That's the only reason why it's done for. And that's not what blading should be for. That's what WWE did all throughout the Attitude Era and Ruthless Wrestling era until they turned PG. It was just blood for no reason. Anyway, so now this would be the spot for the blood, and they give each other those elbows and bust each other open, and then finally, with no help from Heyman, no help from the Usos, Roman Reigns destroys Brock Lesnar. Spear. Superman punch. 1, 2, 3. Your winner, Roman Reigns. Brock Lesnar can no longer hold championship gold in WWE. So now after this, where does Roman go along? What does Roman have? Well, Drew McIntyre is back from injury, and we're gonna do Drew McIntyre. We're gonna do Drew McIntyre and do a program with them. We're gonna go, go a couple of things with them. He's gonna have a match at the May event. There's no name for that yet. And we're gonna have a match in June in Chicago. Guessing that's Extreme Rules. They haven't announced it yet. We'll wait and see. Drew McIntyre will step back a little bit. Maybe we won't have Roman Reigns have a match at Money in the Bank, but we'll have Roman Reigns. We'll have Roman Reigns and Drew McIntyre at SummerSlam, July 30th, or whenever it is, the end of July. The SummerSlam 3-match feud, bam, Roman Reigns, beats Drew McIntyre. Now at that point, he would have held the championship for probably over 300 days, right? Let's see. Let's just think about it, right? So if he's at 500 something now, and you got 36 months. So he would have held it for probably close to 700 days. So we're going to go ahead and have Roman Reigns hold that championship for the 800 days, having him beat Walter's record, Gunther's record, of holding a championship under the WWE banner in the longest in the modern era. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to go all the way to that. And when that happens, like I talked about earlier, that's when we get all of the family down at ringside. Alpha and Sega, if they're in good health. You know, many others. Rikishi, the Usos. You know, anybody who is part of the Samoan Dynasty family. Maybe even his wife and his kids. So I don't think are Samoan. I think his wife might even be Puerto Rican or something. I have no idea. But whatever. They are down there to acknowledge him as the head of the table. You know, the greatest of all time. But where's The Rock? And then we get The Rock thing. And one was like, you serious? You couldn't come here to do this? And he's like, I'm working on the film. We're on film but you know that doesn't mean I don't love you. You know, you are the head of the table. You're the tribal chief. You are the man right now. That's all of respect for you. I acknowledge you. You know, love you, bro. And then cuts off. And even though he's used the word, he said the word, I acknowledge you. So he still feels disappointed because he didn't do it in person. And that's what he wanted. He wanted in front of the world to see in person that big star Dwayne, big star DJ acknowledged him. And it just didn't work. So now let's go to so now I'm trying to think of when that would be. So if he's over 500 right now, he hit 500 this past Monday, right? 504 broke his record. So if you think about like this, you know, 30, let's just say 30 days, 6 months, right? So February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October. So that's 8 times 3. That's 204, right? So that's 240 days. 30 to be 740. So even still, he's not even still. You know, when I'm talking about the 100 days, he's still not even close to, you know, at Survivor Series. So so that would even have to be like that's probably closer to the Royal Rumble maybe. The Royal Rumble of 2023, if that happened. Of what I just talked about with you know, him being in the ring, him breaking Walter's 800 days record. So yeah, I think that's what it would be, right? It would be that close. So he breaks it. I think it would probably be a little bit before the Royal Rumble, because if it's, you know, if where are we at today? Monday was 504, Tuesday 505, Wednesday 506, Thursday 507. Today would be 508. January 21st. So January 21st, 2023, 365 days. So to take 65 days back, so it would probably be sometime in, wow, Jesus Christ, my math will suck. I'm 40 years old, y'all. Okay, I apologize for my math sucking. But you guys get the entire picture, right? So now let's go to the Royal Rumble of 2020 or 2023. It's Roman Reigns. Let's say this. It's Roman Reigns versus Big E, right? Let's just put that out. Roman Reigns versus Big E at the Royal Rumble. Have a fantastic match. Going down the line. Roman Reigns wins again, right? Roman Reigns wins again. However, there's music playing. And I can't believe it. Who's coming down the ring with the Money in the Bank contract? Who could it be? Oh my God, they're about to make a new star. Here it is. It's the dude. It's the man. It's the newly face Austin Theory. Comes down. Got the Money in the Bank contract. Says he's saying he's cashing in, and he beats him. 1, 2, 3. And now you have here the new Universal Heavyweight Champion of the world, Austin Theory. But why did he get beat? Why did he get beat? Well, here's why. Earlier that night, they announced that The Rock would be the first entrant in the class of 2023 Hall of Fame. And Roman did not believe that he's being put into the Hall of Fame without having personally acknowledged. And that makes him upset. It's less on his mind, and it's in the match with Big E, it almost cost him the victory, but he gets the victory. But it took a lot out of him to get that victory. Austin Theory was there to scoop up, pick up the pieces, and become the Universal Champion, become the youngest Universal Champion in history. I don't think he'd be the youngest WWE, youngest heavyweight champion under the WWE umbrella. I think that still goes to Randy Orton. I'm not sure how old Austin Theory is, but you get the drift. He would be the youngest Universal Champion, obviously. So, and then what does that lead to? That leads to, The Rock making an appearance on Monday Night Raw. Right? It's announced on SmackDown. Roman Reigns says, yeah. So he comes there, and Rock is there. He's happy to accept. He wants to thank the fans for all he's done. And he's doing that speech. But this is probably going to be my, I've had a fun time, had a great time. I'm doing things now because I couldn't do it because it was here, because it was this, and it's always good to come back home, and we get that now. That great start to Roman Reigns, music. And Roman Reigns comes down with Heyman and the Usos, and he asks The Rock that I lost my title because you didn't acknowledge me in the ring when you come to my ceremony a few months ago. And The Rock is like, what are you talking about? I did it. I gave you the love and support. I acknowledged you in the thing. So I need you right now, right here, to acknowledge me. The Rock is, he's getting tired, and he's starting to do this. He's starting to do what Rock does. He gets on, and he goes on full on Rock, and he's calling him, calling him a name, and Roman Reigns starts to bow up and says, "Acknowledge me or else." The Rock, trying to cool heads, says, "Family has been stronger than ever. Has been stronger than ever because of what you and what my cousin and what our cousins are doing. I love you. I love them. I'm only doing this because this is about family. This tattoo on my shoulder is about family. Roman Reigns, my tribal chief, the head of the table, I acknowledge. Roman Reigns does all I wanted. He does what he did with Heyman. He hugs The Rock. The Rock hugs him. The Rock hugs the Usos and everything like that. As they get ready to leave, he says, "Get him." And they attack The Rock. Usos double super kick. They attack The Rock. They beat The Rock down. And then they put The Rock, and Roman Reigns chokes out The Rock. Put together guillotine, leaving him there unconscious. He says, "Next time I ask you, you acknowledge me when I tell you to acknowledge me." And that's what's starting. That leads you on the road to WrestleMania. The Rock versus Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 39, the main event again. The Rock has put The Rock has put his career on the line. If I beat you, you no longer can call yourself the head of the table or the tribal chief of this family. If you be me, I'll never step a foot in this ring, put on the boots, and wrestle again. And then, of course, what happens? We go to it. The match happens. And again, no help from Heyman. No help from the Usos. Roman Reigns beats The Rock. 1, 2, 3. And there you have Roman Reigns, the official tribal chief, head of the table of the Samoan dynasty, and The Rock can no longer wrestle in WWE again. And that's probably good. Then Rock is 50. At that time, he'll be 51. So it's probably doesn't need, they need no longer to be stepping foot into the wrestling. He got a great new career. He got young kids and everything like that. So yeah. And that's it. I think that's how you get to The Rock versus Roman Reigns. Again, this was, because of I tried to not focus on the rumors, because again, the big rumor, that the fact that Seth Rollins would beat Roman Reigns, I just don't get that, but whatever. So there you have it. Alright guys, that was it for this episode of That to Shoot. Again, I don't know if I said it to begin with, but I apologize. I was supposed to do a video last week for my return, but life happens and I just didn't do it, so then I'll start back this week. I'm going to try to make sure I get you a That to Shoot video out each and every week. I started this year thinking that maybe I won't, maybe I won't take as many weeks off as I did in the past when it comes to this video. If I stop doing other videos, I'll still do That to Shoot. So we'll have to wait and see. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Post in the comments down below that you have on any of my thoughts about Ali asking for his release, about Sami Zayn re-signing with WWE, Cody working without a contract in AEW, or any of the Royal Rumble rumors that are out there. And then, of course, my fantasy booking. How do you feel about what I told you? The Rock versus Roman Reigns heading into WrestleMania 39 in Hollywood. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is your boy AJTRIP signing off. As always, be good to each other, y'all. Be careful out there. And I am out.